Hi everyone, my name is Josh with ADI Sec Compliance. I'm here today to let you know a little bit more about who we are and what we do. But our goal is to help small businesses, large businesses, governments, schools, and everything in between make their digital assets accessible for everyone. This is the team. Now, there's more than 5 of us, but if we put everybody that works here, we would spend all day on intros. So let's just talk about a couple people. Scott Rubenstein, he's our CTO. He's a member of the W3C. He's actually part of the working group that's working on WCAG 3.0, or WCAG Silver as it's also known. Scott Trachtenberg, our CEO, he was actually in another business, one of the first people to receive a letter for not having your website accessible. Now, he saw an opportunity there because at the time, there was nobody out there to really help him navigate the legal aspect of this or make his website accessible. So he partnered with our CTO, and the rest is history. Now, I'm sure we're all familiar with the ADA, but let's recap just in case. The ADA is the reason why public buildings have things like accessible bathrooms, or ramps for people with wheelchairs, or hotels make sure they have accessible showers. Now, the internet has become a place of public accommodation. And the reason of that is we live in a digital world. How often are you referred to a website for information? And this is why, at the end of the day, your digital assets all need to be accessible. Now, when we talk about places of public accommodation on your website, what does that mean? That means your videos, podcasts, documents and PDFs, websites, mobile apps and mobile websites all need to be accessible. The only way to do that, the right way to do that, is through human auditing and remediation. Why be accessible? People with disabilities come in all shapes and sizes, and sometimes they have more than one disability. Lawsuits commonly name blind and low vision users. The reason for that is because many people relate to that because the internet has a very visual component. But there's so much more. People with physical impairment, people that are deaf or hard of hearing, age-related issues, motor immobility, the list goes on. But at the end of the day, let's all remember, you need to be accessible because people with disabilities have the same rights that we do, and they have the same rights to be able to access any and all information available. Accessibility is equality. Over 1.3 billion people are living with some type of disability. That's about 20% of the population. It's over $8 trillion of annual spending opportunity that people are missing out on because their websites and their digital assets aren't accessible. Now, there is a risk of non-compliance. People, though, ask us all the time, why don't big companies get hit? Why does it only seem to be small and medium-sized businesses? That's not true, however. Big businesses do get hit. Target was hit with a $6 million lawsuit. Netflix made a show about a blind superhero and didn't think to put descriptive audio so that people that were blind could enjoy the show as well. Now, the good that came out of that, Target has an accessible website. It can service all users with disabilities. Netflix now makes all their Netflix originals with descriptive audio. Litigation trends with ADA lawsuits have increased exponentially since 2013. They've gone up a total of 306%. And in 2020, due to COVID-19, we saw that number go even higher. We expect to see this trend continue to grow in 2021. The number of ADA website demand letters actually surpasses the number of ADA lawsuits. The reason for this is because these are typically settled outside of court. Courts are usually favoring plaintiffs and award legal fees and court costs. Remember, claims are not limited to one statute. You could be sued for somebody who is blind or low vision and couldn't use your website, and then also be sued for somebody who's deaf or hard of hearing and couldn't utilize a video on your website. 25% of all lawsuits are filed against people who've previously been sued, but either didn't handle their auditing and remediation correctly or did nothing at all. Remember, at the end of the day, it's not only about the law, this is the right thing to do. Now, there's a byproduct to accessibility. Use an increased ROI. You open yourself up to a market that people generally don't tap into. Reduces errors on your websites, and it does help improve your SEO. Our accessibility solutions are Title II compliant, Title III compliant, Section 508 compliant, and WCAG 2.1 compliant. As new WCAG guidelines are released, we will continue to update that standard to the latest, highest standard. So if WCAG 2.2 comes out or WCAG 3.0 comes out, that is then the standard that ADA Sec Compliance will audit their clients' websites too. Now, as soon as we're engaged with a client, we give a few initial deliverables. Two of those things are a compliance shield and accessibility policy. The compliance shield lets people know that you've engaged an expert third party. It also serves as a link to your accessibility policy. This goes in the footer of your website. The accessibility policy is hosted on a separate page of the website. The reason for that is it allows us to update the accessibility policy as new data compliance comes out. Now, the third initial deliverable we give our clients is our accessibility adapter. Now, please understand, this is not an end-all solution to make your website accessible. Nothing out there like this can make you fully accessible. This is a widget at the end of the day and only a technological solution. The only way to make your website accessible is through human auditing or remediation, which makes changes to the code. So while this is great and helps about maybe 5 to 10% of people, you still must do human auditing and remediation. These are our digital accessibility solutions. As you can see, we have a bunch of them, but that's great. It allows us to offer solutions to businesses and entities of any size and almost any budget. Let's talk about them for a minute. Now, if you're looking to reduce your chances of being sued, or you've not been sued and you're not in a settlement agreement, we have quite a few solutions to help you out. Our accessibility adapter offers instant improvements to your website. Our mitigation suite is our accessibility adapter and our compliance shield and accessibility policy, further reducing your risks of litigation. Now, Mitigation Plus includes everything from the mitigation suite, but includes technological auditing. Technological auditing only finds about 30% of accessibility issues. However, it's a great starting place and it's great for a business that has budget in mind. Audit Plus is a targeted human audit that looks for the top items most often named in lawsuits, and then we combine that with technological auditing. Audit Premium is a hybrid of our human expert audit and Audit Plus solution. We conduct a full human audit of your homepage, and then a targeted human audit or Audit Plus on the rest of the website. Now, if you're in a settlement agreement or received a demand letter, human expert auditing is the solution that you need to go with. It is a multi-round approach, and the goal is to get you as close to zero errors as possible. We can also help out with remediation if needed, unless you have a development team that can handle that for you. The other possible solution, if you're in a settlement agreement or just received a demand letter and you're not equipped to make the changes to your website, is we could also build you a new ADA compliant website. Here at ADA Site Compliance, we work with everybody from small businesses to some of the largest out there. As you can see here, this is just a select client list, and I'm sure there are some names there that you know. This is me, Josh Levady, and I've really enjoyed speaking with you. I hope you found this informative, and please feel free to reach out either via the phone number or email address listed on the slide. Hope you enjoy your conference, and I hope you found this informative. Have a great rest of your day.